Hey everybody, it's Jesse, and I hope you all had a great weekend. If anybody did anything awesome, let me know in the live chat. Um, Today I'm going to do something that for some of you is going to seem really simple, but for others this may be the first time you've actually seen this done. And I've gotten a pull request from one of you that's been watching the streams, and I checked it out Friday afternoon. I pulled it down to my machine as a separate branch and checked it out, and I only found one thing that was different, and it was simply because I messed something up and put and basically it caused a class not to be applied to an element, and it looked good like that. And then when the person who submitted the pull request fixed it, it changed the appearance, and it actually changed it to what it should have been based on the classes that were there, but I actually don't like it like that. So that's the only thing that I'm really going to change for this. Everything else is awesome. So I'm going to take you through just, quickly a quick scan of, okay, here's what's changed, so you can see like where to go to look at. If somebody submits a pull request for your project, kind of go through the steps of how you would evaluate that, and then what you would do to merge it into your branch. Also, I had some requests for me to use Ngrok. I don't know how it's Ngrok. I'm just gonna say Ngrok. If that's not how you pronounce it, then let me know in the live chat. But this is going to let you all go to the development version of the site. So instead of waiting to see on the screen what I change and you only being able to see what I'm showing on my screen, you can look at the site as it's being developed on my local machine. So this site's being served on port 3000 for the dev site. So I'm just going to start this, and now let me blow this up a little bit. So if you want to go to, I'm going to paste this in the description. Okay, so in the live chat, I've just pasted in the URL I was just talking about. If you go there, you'll be able to see the site. So it's not going to be, wow, look at that. It looks like some people are going there because I can see all the requests here. It's not going to be that useful today since we're just merging a pull request and we're not making a lot of like little changes that we want to check out, but it'll definitely be useful in the future. I'm going to check the live chat really quickly before we get started because looks like some people are saying hi. Hey everybody. All right, Thor says he's finally on time. So Thor frequently watches the live show, but always drops in a little bit later. So awesome that you're here on time. Sebastian says check materialui.com, material design with React, found it while browsing. I've actually been checking it out. I actually have open on one of my other screens right now a material design React. It's kind of framework. I was looking at React MD, but I've also seen Material UI as well. I actually was going to go with Material UI at once, but there was like one component that they didn't have built yet that I needed to use, and I didn't feel like building it myself at the time. So, but I definitely want to check that out. I think that would be better. Right now I'm using Materialize, and I'm trying to make it work in React. My goal was to kind of translate everything Materialize does into React components, but maybe it would just be a lot easier to use one of these other React component libraries and that use material design, and then just contribute to those for the things that are missing that I use. Seem to have overloaded the site. It looks like, yeah, we're getting a lot of requests. So is it working? Is the dev site thing working, or is it too many people connecting? Too many. Oh, it does say. All right, let me show you what it says. So, too many connections. The rate limit policy of 20 connections per minute. Wow, 143 connections last 60 seconds. Okay, so I'll have to think of something else. I don't know what the paid plan for Ngrok is. I'll have to check that out after stream. If it's not a lot of money, then maybe I'll get it. I just have no idea how much it is. But yeah, this isn't gonna work for right now. So sorry about that. But I mean, for today, I guess I'll just shut this down since it's already shutting down on its own. So yeah, it's not gonna be a big deal today, but maybe I'll look it up and see either if there's an alternative that lets me have more connections, or if I could just pay for the paid version of Ngrok. So thanks to everybody that suggested that. It is really cool. Hopefully we can get it working with this volume. Thor says it's $5 for 60 requests per minute, which is still not enough because we had 143 connections in a minute. So $12 for 120. So it's getting closer. Andrew says DDoS successfully. Yes. that was sweet. Yeah, you guys just definitely DDoS my dev site. All right, so let's get started. I have a meeting at 3. So if you've noticed the pattern, I have a meeting at 3 o'clock every Monday. So I wanted to keep this short, which is part of the reason why I picked this topic to do right now, because I don't think it'll take that long. The other part of the reason is because if you never really did this before, this might be good to see. I know I always get nervous when I'm doing something, to my code base, bringing something in, like, will I mess it up? Now, obviously, since I'm using Git, I shouldn't be that nervous. I can always just roll it back to a previous commit. But it's kind of nice to see something demonstrated. And especially since I'll demonstrate it live, maybe I'll make a mistake, and that's even better, because then you'll know not to do what I did. I do really feel that way. I think it ends up being better for you most of the time if I mess things up, because then I don't know, you learn more, because not only we usually fix it eventually, so you know what to do, but you also learn what not to do, or how to get out of it once you mess it up. So basically, just to recap the steps that I've already taken, I just followed these. Is it these ones? Yeah. I followed these instructions, right? Super easy. So this is right on GitHub. I followed these instructions to basically do this. Just make another branch that's this fix. Okay, so I really just kind of, I'll show you what the request was. So this is the pull request. So thanks to Vinay Popal. I'm not sure how to pronounce that exactly. If you're watching, oh yeah, there you are. President materialized the GitHub data. Okay, so Vinay is in the live chat right now. So thank you very much for this request. I checked it out and it's awesome. And I'll show you guys a little bit about what was changed, just to show you how great this is. So anyway, this is what you'll see if somebody does a pull request. And like I said, if this is like old news to you and easy stuff, then sorry, but consider sticking around and maybe giving some tips to everybody that's in the live chat. So I'm going to show you the files that have changed, and this is kind of the important part, I think, to me, just to check things out and understand what's going on. I love looking at these. I've gotten 2 pull requests so far, and I've learned so much from both of them by being able to compare what I did with what they did in the pull request, and seeing how I can improve my own code in the future. So we could see here, so we have now this component file, this head.js, which we actually, some people asked about, I don't remember who it was in the live chat, but I had at least one person, maybe more, ask about moving all of this head stuff into its own component. And I remember I had said, I think that would be good to do. I'm just not sure how I would do it yet. And I just never got around to actually trying to figure out how to do it. As you know, it was a kind of a tight schedule, so a lot of things that I thought were great ideas just got kind of pushed back and not done. So there's also this, so here's one new component, completely new, and that's all the stuff we had in the head. And we needed, everything in the head can basically be the same for every page, except we needed this title tag and we needed the meta description, right? So now we can actually pass that in, okay, the title and the description. So that's awesome. Like, that's the part that was really giving me a bit of trouble, was I need to pass that in, but also there was some error that I was getting when I tried to do this, and so I just kind of gave up on it when I first tried. And when I finally kind of realized how I could have fixed the error, I was already moved on to something else, and I just never attempted it again. So the next component is layout.js. So this is totally new, and this does what you would think it does. This is the layout for the page. So we had a lot of repetitious code. We never want to do that, right? We always want to stay dry, right? Do not repeat. Okay, that's the principle, right? So we don't want to repeat all this. So you could see, especially like this, we're bringing in that head that was just created here, bringing that in here because we need that for every page. We had this div for every page. We always have a footer. We always import these scripts at the bottom here. So all this stuff is now taken out and put into its own component. It makes all the rest of the components a little bit cleaner, and we don't repeat ourselves. So that's awesome. Great idea. Also, the Google Analytics code is initialized here as well, so we don't initialize it everywhere. And these changes are all spread out over a bunch of commits, and each commit has its own message to kind of explain it too. So I mean, that's all there in the GitHub repo, and there's a link to that in the description. So you can check it out on your own and kind of go more in depth if you want to try to understand some of this. This is what I was talking about at the beginning, which actually changed how things are displayed. I'll show you in a second. So we had this class card action, which if you see, obviously this doesn't work because it needs to be class name card action. So when I first did this, I didn't even catch this because it didn't throw an error, and it looked good. I liked how it looked, so I never even thought twice about it. But then when this class name was added and it's actually card action, it actually changed the display, how this displayed. Now I don't like how it's displayed, which is, of course, you know, Vinay did this 100% correctly. This is how it should have been done. I just should have not used this class on here. So what I'm going to do is either change how this looks or just completely take out this class and see. So not sure how I'm going to do that yet. Let me bring over, I thought I had it up here, but I guess I didn't. Oh, I know. Actually, my computer started making all kinds of noise, like it was working really hard, and so I closed a bunch of my windows. So I ended up closing out the window for this. So let me open it up again. Oops, didn't want to do that. There we go. Okay, so this is reflecting the completely changed version. So you see there's this line here, and then there's more. Now, normally because of the way Materialize does the styles, this shouldn't be inside. It should be like on the outside of this card. It shouldn't be inside this revealed text. So that's why I'm getting like, this should have been all the way across, but now there's padding. So I just kind of took an element and put it in a different spot than the framework was intending, which is fine, but I just need to account for that. And I don't want this color, so I need to change that color. This is actually the right color normally for our sites, but since this site has a different color palette than all the rest of our sites, I do need to change this. And I want to take out this line. I'll show you what it looked like before, just in case you haven't seen it. See, it just looked like this. And after I looked at this, I thought I would kind of like to change this. I would like to have this be all capitals and maybe a different color, maybe a red color. We'll see. So it was really good that that happened because I hadn't even noticed that. So I'm glad, and it's going to make me rethink the look of that anyway. Also upgraded Next. So that's good. I think I had already upgraded to 2.4.2, so maybe like probably this repo was forked when I was still at 4.1, and then at some point within the last week, I think I did upgrade to 4.2 because there was a security upgrade that came out. So if you're using Next and you're still on like 4.1 or lower, upgrade to at least 2.4.2 because that's an important security update. I don't know enough about it to tell you exactly what the issue is, but I just know that it seems serious from what I read. So also a lot of changes here. See, I'm not going to go through all these because they're pretty much the same. So pages now, we've gotten rid of all that stuff that's been taken out and put into other components, right? So now we just have layout. So we've wrapped all of this in layout, all right, which is awesome. Just so much less code in general. We no longer need, before we initialize Google Analytics every time, now we don't. Now we just log a page view. And now, instead of having our title and description here, we just pass it as props into the layout component. And then that gets in turn passed to the head component. Alright, so that's it. And pretty much all of them, I'm going to skip down because these are all just the same thing happening on every page pretty much. So just cleaning everything up. And it's important, if somebody does submit a pull request to you, go through all this stuff, because you don't want to mess up your project, because you missed something. And larger projects have like automatic testing that happens, and which is awesome. I don't have that set up. I obviously didn't even expect to have anybody else submitting pull requests, so I didn't even think to set it up. The final thing is now the analytics has been split out into its own component, and there's a new folder, utils, right? So for utilities, so now this is in its own component, which is also a great idea. So all around, just making everything so much cleaner, more kind of separated out, and I really like all those changes. So again, thank you so much for this. And look at that change. Look how much, basically all the same things are happening, but with way less in terms of total lines of code. So really great pull request. So now that we've kind of gone through the pull requests, like how you check it out, now we've pulled down using these instructions. We've pulled that down, and I've done that beforehand. I did that last week, so I'm not going to show how to do it. I mean, it's really like what, five steps, literally 5 steps, and it works. So we're going to merge this branch now into the master branch, but I'm going to do something. I was reading somewhere, maybe a Stack Overflow, somebody said that when they do merges, the way they do it is first they merge they merge everything that's been done in master. So like there's a lot of stuff that's been done like since this, so this is not necessarily completely up to date. I don't know, maybe it is more up to date, but there's probably some things that happen that aren't in here yet. So I'm going to merge master into this branch, right? Test it on this branch, make sure everything's okay, and then merge this back into the master branch. And I thought that was kind of a nice idea. Maybe not always necessary for small changes, but in this case there were a lot of changes. So I'm going to do it like that, and then that way, we'll be able to see. And if we mess up this branch, not really a big deal. Not as big of a deal as if I messed up master. I won't even have to worry about reverting to a previous commit, because I'll just switch back to master and everything will be as it should be. So let me let me check the live chat really quick because I've been ignoring it for like 10 minutes. Okay, Thor says there's also Hub, a CLI by GitHub to simplify fetching the pull request. Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to check that out. So check that out if you hub.github.com. So I'll have to check that out after this. But rebase instead. Hey there guys, please don't use merge. Thor's saying please don't use merge master but rebase instead, please. Andrew says agree with rebase or get merge rebase. I see so many people doing it and messing up their history. Get rebase master on the feature branch and then switch to master and do merge feature branch. Okay, yeah, so let me, where did I put this? I had a link and somebody was talking about that same thing about messing up their history, and there was a way to work around it, and that's what I used the last time I did this. Yeah, so rebase master into feature, then merge feature into master, right? Yeah, so I'll I definitely want to do that in a way that I can keep my history up. So sorry, I had a meeting right before this too, so I just got here a few minutes before I started. So otherwise I would have had this up already. But let me bring up the instructions that I was going to use. I'll pull them on the screen, and then you all in the live chat can let me know if this is kind of what you were thinking, or if it's or if you have something totally different in mind. So I gotta remember. I would think that was something that I would have saved, probably in Google Keep. So that's where I'm going to look first. Okay, and I did find it, and I did save it exactly where I thought it would be. I really like Google Keep. I don't know if you all use Google Keep, but it's just really convenient for me. I use Google for a lot of stuff. I have an Android phone, so it works out that it syncs up nicely. I used to use Evernote for that kind of thing, but Keep is more simple, and I didn't ever really use the all the features of Evernote. Okay, so here's the instructions I was going to use, and then to keep track. It looks like this is not what you were talking about, because you guys were talking about rebase, and this is just merge. So I'm going to look now back at the live chat. So take a look at this on the screen. Hopefully, let me blow it up a little bit more to make sure you can see, even if you're on a small screen. Check this out for a second. See if this is going to do it. Yeah. Okay. So Andrew says, yeah, this part down here. This is the part that I used the last time I did it. So that will get the job done then. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so Thor is saying this will work, but prefers rebase. Could you maybe just explain why you prefer rebase? I think it'd be cool, and I'd like to read it out so everybody that's watching, even later on, could know kind of the difference. I mean, I'm sure everybody could look it up, but since we're on the topic already of the video, it'd be nice to kind of give the alternate way to do this. Because Andrew's saying if you made any commits in master, it's better to rebase. But I'm wondering why is it better to rebase? So I'll let that. I know there's a delay, so I'll kind of get on with it here, and then I'll show how to do it. And actually, I'm going to have more things to merge in, so it's possible that we could do. I don't know if we'll have time today, but it's possible we could do it both ways and then see, just to demonstrate. that might be useful, and helpful, so that you all can see, the differences, figure out what's easier. Andrew says, Rebase will get all new commits from master, put on feature, and then apply all new commits from feature. Okay. Patrick says, Rebase allows you to clean up your history. MK Tech says, Rebase performs automatic checkout and checks. Okay. Okay, cool. So, then Thor says, Rebase will reset your feature branch to the point it's split from master. Apply all new commits from master, and then put your commits from the feature on top. That's cool. That sounds good. So, to explain the difference then, so if we merge like this, well, like I said, first I was going to actually merge master into the feature branch, make sure everything's working while I'm on the feature branch, then put it all back into master. So if I did that, so if I used Rebase, basically all the commits from master would be in the history first, and then all the commits from the feature branch would come. If I do it this way that I have up on the screen now, then I'm assuming the history would be a different order. Thor says it's different. Okay, so that's then the difference, the main difference, right? You would just have a different history. Okay. All right, cool. So if you're thinking about doing this, if you've never done this before, or if you've done it one way but not the other, then there's a difference in the history. So I'll actually, after I do this, I will look at all the commits just to give you an idea of what history looks like from this. Since I've already explained, based on what everybody's saying in the live chat, I've already explained what it would look like if you did Rebase. And then we'll be able to see in the terminal what it will look like this way. So, okay, so Thor's saying you would have master till it's split, then feature commits, then new commits for master. We're doing it this way. With Rebase, you have master and then feature commits. So, Thor says he highly prefers the second route, to just have master and then all the feature commits after. Feature commits. Okay. So like I said, I'll probably do the next branch with Rebase to demonstrate that. I'm going to go with this one first, since I said I was going to go with this one, and I may as well just do it at this point. But that way you'll have a nice idea of which one to go with. All right, so for this branch, so you can follow along. I mean the URL was crazy for that, so I don't know how you want to find that. That there's instructions on Stack Overflow. Maybe I'll just post it in the live chat for now, and maybe post it in the description in case you want to see those commands. So first we're going to do, so we are on the development branch, so that's important. So make sure you're on development branch, and I can tell here, and actually somebody I saw asked the question, let me go back so I don't miss it, because it makes sense to answer this question right now. I can't find it now, but I know somebody said something about, okay, so Roddy, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. It's like Roddy W91. So it says, how did you fix your terminal so it looks like that? So Yeah, my terminal, this is not default. If you never used a terminal before, this is not the default look. So basically, I did this so long ago that I couldn't tell you exactly how I did it, like step by step. But basically, you have like what's called like a bash profile, and it's just a file. If you heard that in the background, that was my alarm to tell me it's 2:30, so I need to get a move on. This is in your bash profile. You can set the colors for different things and how things work. So that's what I edited. But I did the Git and GitHub course on Udacity. So if you go to udacity.com, they have a ton of free courses. They also have paid certifications you can get, but the Git and GitHub course is totally free. In that course, one of the lessons teaches you how to do this. I actually just used the default example from the lesson. I never even changed it. So I'd always intended that I would customize the colors, but I had some projects that I did, and now I'm so used to these I don't really want to change them. But you can, I would recommend that course, especially if you're new to this. It was really helpful for me. They take you through a lot of test projects and have you do pull requests and merge things, and really kind of go through everything that you would normally use Git and GitHub for. So let's do the first step, which is Git. So anyway, you have to be on the feature branch to start. Okay, so Git merge master. Wait, what? It's already up to date. No way. It's already up to date. And actually, all right, so I guess this was, maybe this did have, I had assumed that this didn't have all the changes from master. Huh. All right. Let's try it out. I do want to check something quickly. Oops. Where's my... Oh, okay. I did want to check this just really quickly, just to make sure, because I was almost positive that I had React 2.4.3. All right. So I'm going to check that, and then now when I switch over, I want to check. I never changed that? That's crazy. That's really crazy. Because I do remember, maybe I just did it for another site that I was using Next with. I know I did it for one of my client sites. Maybe I just never did it. So earlier in the show, I realized now that I said something that was incorrect. I thought that I had updated Next, but I didn't, and I don't know what happened. If I don't know, I really could have sworn that I did update Next. I thought I updated 2.4.1 or 0.2. I guess I did not. All right, so anyway, basically what has happened is this pull request was actually already completely up to date with everything. So it was really almost kind of pointless for me to do that. But if it wasn't completely up to date, then that would have actually been important. And so now this is going to be really easy. So we're going to merge. So we're going to git merge. So whenever you do a merge, you're always merging the branch you specify here into the branch that you're on. So I often forget that, and I always look it up just to be sure. So, I mean, don't feel bad if you don't remember that, because I almost never remember that. But we're going to do git merge, and what was the name of that branch? Fix React.ga. If you really haven't used the command line and you're wondering how I make that appear so quickly, when you're on the command line, if you just type in like the first two letters of what you're looking for and then hit tab, it will try to auto-complete. And if there's like two files or two folders that have this at the beginning, it'll just stop there, and so you'll have to type more in so that it can autocomplete. But that'll save you a ton of time. That's something I didn't really know at first. I saw people on YouTube auto-completing stuff, and I just wasn't sure how that was happening. But that's how it happens, and it's awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and merge. Great. Now in this case, there are no conflicts. Okay, there occasionally you will have a conflict. No, I forgot to do the step I told you I was going to do. In this case, it didn't matter because it was already up to date. Basically, like the log. Let me show you the log. Okay, so you can see the log and who did these changes. Let's see. So these changes are like actually in the right order. You can see the dates and everything, and yeah, so right order. Now, what we had talked about before, and I can't believe I forgot this, was using this instead. Git merge. Okay, so we had talked about doing this to be able to keep your commit history. Basically keep everything the way it should be. The reason, and correct me if I'm wrong, the reason that this actually worked was because there was no difference really. There weren't any new commits on the master branch that would have made it a lot more complicated. So, and like I said, I'm not like super expert at this because I don't often get pull requests, so correct me if I'm misstating that, but this only worked out, I think, because of that. It was simple. So if you had kind of a more complicated situation, do this, or do the rebase like Thor and Andrew and a few other people in the live chat were suggesting. So I'm going to go to live chat because I did ask some questions about what I was doing, and I want to read out the answers to you. Andrew did have a link. He did share a link of an article for how to do rebase, but I'm not going to read it out because it has a lot of numbers and letters at the end. So Andrew, if you want to put that in the comments for the video so people watching later on the recording can go there as well, that would be awesome. It's going to get blocked by the spam filter, but I'll go in and approve it later on. Thor says git merge and then with the flag squash would have been a better option. I'm not familiar with that flag, so if anybody familiar with the flag squash, let me know what that would do. I know that I read it. I remember seeing that in the documentation, but I didn't pay enough attention to it that I actually remember what it does. Thor says, normally you don't want all these small commits. Andrew says, it depends on if you want to keep commit history. All right, in this case, if I would have done this command, and this is basically Thor and Andrew are giving a lot of helpful information here. So I'm just kind of relaying this to you all. Andrew says, if we would have done this command, it would have created an unnecessary merge message. Okay, so basically this would have forced a merge message, So I would have had to have, and I've a few times it's happened that I've had to do a merge message on the live stream. Basically, it would have forced me to type a message explaining what's happening. Like, why are you? It would ask me, why is this merge necessary? And I would explain that. So sometimes you want that, but Andrew says, like, in this case, unnecessary, right? There are no conflicts. We don't, it all just works. Thor says squash would have squashed all the commits from the feature branch into one. So it would have just been one commit instead of all of these commits that you see here in the log. Okay, so it would have been, Mike also says squash would have made things cleaner. Okay, I could see the benefit of that. I actually, because, at least for me, because I'm not getting so many pull requests, I kind of like it like this, and this lets me see like exactly what was done. For me, I like this because I'm really trying to learn from the pull requests that you all submit. So I kind of like to be able to see all this and be able to go through step by step and see like, oh, what was changed, why was it changed, to help me understand it. If I didn't need to do that, I could definitely see the benefit of using the squash flag and just making it one down into one. But for me, at least at this point, I like this right now. So, but this could definitely get really messy if you're pulling in a lot of different stuff. So, anyway, that's a lot of good info about Git merges and how to do things. And I'm glad we did this because to be honest with you, there were so many options when I was checking. I always look this up because I don't do it often enough that I remember how to do it. And every time I look it up, I always see so many different ways that people do it. Stack Overflow has, different ways people are doing it. Even, there are a lot of ways to do it, and I'm not always clear of what the benefit of doing it one way or another is. So, this has been really helpful for me, and hopefully for you all and anybody watching this later on. If you're not sure how to get out of this log when you do it, just hit Q. So maybe it'll save you a few minutes of frustration. Just hit Q and it'll get you out. Okay, so MK Tech says you do need to be careful with squash if you are working in a group. Okay, good. Yeah, so in this case, not in this case would it matter so much, but okay, so now that we've made this merge, like, let's just look at it, right? I mean, we do want to double check and make sure that everything we did is working. Let me see where I pulled this over. There we go. Let me pull this back over and we can see. I'm going to do a refresh just to double check. We do have the hot module reloading going on, so it should reload, but just in case. So we could see, like, okay, we have this, which we knew, right off the bat, this is different. Okay, so we are on master now. Okay, before we only saw this on the feature branch, so that's a good indication because most of the changes, I think all of the changes were all kind of behind the scenes. This is really the only change that had any effect on what the user would see. So this is really the only visual indicator we have that the change is really there. I mean, obviously we know it worked. We saw it here, but just for the visual proof confirmation here. So, and I'm just going to click around. I'm going to open up DevTools. Like I said, I already did this on the other branch beforehand. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident that everything's going to be all right. And it's all going to work out, but just for the sake of demonstration, I'll click around just so we can see what's going on here. All right, and Everything seems to be working. This violation here, this is because of this video. So I don't know if I can do anything about that. So you can see this is the code for this YouTube embed. So if anybody knows how to do anything about that, let me know. As far as I know, I'm pretty much stuck with this. But maybe there's a way to use video in here, so that I just don't know about. Just trying to click around, just making sure this works. Awesome. All right, and that's pretty much it. So we made kind of a major. I can also show you the code. This would be the last test. So now we have the right version of Next. Let's go into like one of our pages. So if you can look up here, we have layout. Everything's in layout. We've gotten rid of all that head stuff that we had before. We have our new folder on the side. I know this is small here on the side. I don't really know how to make this stuff bigger, but we have our new utils folder. We have some more in components. We have some extra components here that we didn't have before. So yeah, so everything's in there. Everything's working. We're getting no error messages. So successfully, I don't think I had a Trello thing, so I have nothing to move over into done because I didn't even make that a task. But yeah, so everything worked out, and we're on track to have an episode that is less than 1 hour, which was the goal that we established last week, and we couldn't quite achieve that goal. So awesome that we did it this week. So good way to start the week here. As always, I'm going to do some question and answer right now. So want to keep it kind of short, so like 5 minutes, 10 minutes max, so I can get over to my meeting at 3. Also, just want to let you know, if you're following along with the project, you can see like pretty much nothing has gotten done since Friday. So sorry about that. Today was filled with like meetings and just answering emails. I don't know how it is for you all where you work, but it seems like Monday morning is just crazy for email. You got all these emails built up, people sending stuff on the weekend, and it just took me forever to get through them all. Some were really, really important though, and then I had a meeting before this, so actually going to have, I think, 2 student workers this summer that are going to work remotely for me on some of these sites. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I think it'll be good. They're computer science students here, so hopefully they'll get some good experience and be able to put some stuff on the resume and GitHub profile. All right, so now I'm going to take a look at the live chat. If you have a question, go ahead and throw it out there now, or put it in the comments for the video, or you can direct message me on Twitter. Let's see. Oh, good look, Sebastian. So Sebastian, I had forgotten to do this, and what was it, already up to date? No, wait a second. Sorry, Sebastian had said install the last update of Next now that you've updated your package JSON. So yeah, that's really weird. I should have, if anybody knows what's going on with this, let me know, but I should have had to have reinstalled to the next version of Next here. So that changed. So what should have happened is when I typed in Yarn, it should have installed the new updates. So I'm a little bit confused by that. I don't know if there's a way, if I could go into maybe like the node modules to verify what the version is. Where am I at? Okay, let's see if I can find Next. Alright, so Next is in here. trying to find somewhere where it would give me a version number. Yeah, version 2.4.3. Okay, so yeah, so this is in fact 2.4.3. So I don't know what happened or why that worked, but it worked. But anyway, Sebastian, good thought. I mean, right after you said that, I immediately thought, like, yeah, I do need to do that. So for some reason, I didn't need to do that. But anyway, whenever you are doing like a git pull or a merge or anything like that, it is a good idea to just type in like npm install or yarn if you're using yarn, just to make sure. I don't know how many times it's happened to me that I've forgotten to do that and I'm getting weird errors, and I waste a lot of time trying to figure out the error when the problem was just that I didn't pull in the package. Usually it's not necessarily an update, but like I've actually added a package somewhere on another computer and then just forgotten. So anyway, good thought though, Sebastian. Vinay, I assume that's how you pronounce your name. Let me know if it's not, and I will correct myself. So Vinay asks, why are you not using any linter? Basically, I just didn't. I haven't taken the time to install a linter and use it. So I know. I think I explained some of this before, but there are things that I probably should be doing that I just never did for two reasons. One, I work by myself, so I usually don't have to worry about, can my teammates read this? So I've let myself get a little bit sloppy at times in terms of my style, my coding style, my documentation, like things like that, or even just like testing in terms of like an actual like test suite, like using like Mocha or Chai or something like that. Also, like the second reason, just of the busyness and the pace of the projects here, is just sometimes it stops me from learning things and doing things that I know I should be doing, because it's hard to explain to other people, like the people above me that don't really know the importance of those things, why I should push the date back of something because I need to set this stuff up. So anyway, Vinay, what would you recommend for a linter that I should use? Because if you have a recommendation, I definitely want to try it out. Part of the reason too why I don't implement stuff like that sometimes is just I'm not sure which one to go with, and I'm just like, instead of just trying one, I just research and never make the decision one way or another. Andrew says, I have an exciting app idea to create project folder and patch project. Wait, what? All right, I'm not sure. Andrew, I'm not sure what that comment about I have an exciting app idea, create project folder. I'm not sure what that was in reference to. So let me know. I'm missing something, I think. I'm missing some joke here, obviously. But Andrew says Yarn, the new update was installed when I typed Yarn in the feature branch. That's what obviously, I thought that in the feature branch, but because node modules is get ignored, I wasn't sure if it would transfer over. So that's why I thought I would have to do it again. Evidently, it did transfer over, and so I guess that's why it worked. Okay, so we have a suggestion to use ESLint. And to use a plugin for the text editor. Okay, yeah, I'll try that. And would Vinay says prefer a pull request with linter and prettier setup. Okay. Yeah. And Andrew says it was a joke. I got that it was a joke. I just didn't get the joke exactly, and I wasn't sure what like what prompted, like if I had missed some conversation earlier that joke was in response to. But in case you're all watching, this is what I was talking about. Andrew says, 1, have an exciting app idea. 2, create project folder. 3, include Webpack. 47, so step 47, lose all passion for project. And is this supposed to be 4 or 47? I'm not sure. Anyway, lose all passion for project and give up. Go to 1. All right, I get it now. The thing that threw me is for some reason I thought it said I have an exciting app idea, so I was expecting the next thing to be your idea. But it didn't say that. It just said have an exciting app idea. So sorry about that. It was nothing wrong with how Andrew phrased that or anything. It was entirely my misreading of that ruined it for me. So yeah, the joke is about how difficult Webpack is, which is why I like to use Next.js, because I don't have to worry about Webpack, and it kind of handles all of that stuff for me. Okay, so Vinay says, I use standard.js and Next.js also uses it, but if you prefer semicolons, then we can use XO or ESLint. Actually, I don't prefer semicolons. It's been like so ingrained in me that you're supposed to use semicolons. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's just my experience, but for most other things in JavaScript, it was always like use a semicolon. You know, like when I was first learning JavaScript, everything said use a semicolon. So now I catch if I really think about it, I don't use them. But if I'm just kind of not thinking and I'm typing away, and I always put in the semicolons. So Vinay, I think I'll go with standard.js because it'll probably be good for me and help me to quit using semicolons when I don't need to. Oops, and it is almost 3 o'clock. So, like I said, if you have any other questions, just put them up on Twitter or in the comments to this video. Thank you for all the help, and hopefully, someone out there had a good educational experience from this. And Vinay, thanks again for this amazing pull request. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all tomorrow, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern.